Hi guys, welcome to another episode of TV Talk with Natasha and Kimberly. I am Natasha. Say hello, Kimberly.
Hello.
And we have, of course, our very good friend and fellow blogger, Antonio. Say hello, Antonio.
Hey guys.
And welcome to another episode. So the openings or the season premieres were definitely good last week, so now we're into the second episode of each of these shows seasons. We're going to be reviewing True Blood, briefly probably, Falling Skies, and Teen Wolf. Now, first up is True Blood. I was a little turned on by the first 5 minutes of the episode.
Oh my gosh, that's like
Oh my gosh. I can't.
It was not. And I'm like, come on, I'm right
It's a
here.
shock factor. Come on, you know, fan fiction went crazy last night.
I'm
Really?
sure.
It was already there. It was probably already there in fan fiction, but that just confirmed the fact that they even went there. It's a dream, but they were hinting at it for several seasons, or like since Eric gave Jason his blood, like it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. What was surprising was who was on top and who was on the bottom. Just saying.
Stop it. Stop.
You know what that scene reminded me of? That reminded me of, I forgot what season it was, but when Bill and Sam got in the shower together.
Yes, yes.
Like, why don't you join me? Okay. No.
I was just jealous. My whole thing was I was just jealous. I was just like, that should be me.
And that was definitely part of it. I wanted to either be with Jason or with Eric or
Both.
both.
Shame. Well, look at that. I just learned a whole bunch about you.
I shouldn't be thinking that way, but I can't help it.
But what a way to open up.
Yes, they're going for the shock factor. It's the last season. They're trying to go up with a bang. And just the fact that Pam, thank God, found Eric. So just from the beginning, we knew that he was alive, for sure. And just the fact that now, OMG, he has the disease.
How did he get it?
I have no idea. I can't seem to recall if they managed to inject him with it when he was at camp.
They didn't, because he had Waller's blood. I remember when that ran out.
Right, okay.
And then when it wore off, he was in like the Alps or whatever, and he started burning.
He started burning, yeah. So it makes me wonder if, in order for him to recover, he managed to get a hold of
some kind of
the wrong True Blood, which was injected with the Hep V.
Or maybe he got it from a human.
That too. That's very unfortunate. Eric is definitely a popular character, both probably from, if people have read the books, and from the TV show, even more so I think from the TV show, and that's all thanks to Alexander Skarsgård. Like it's just, he's awesome as Eric. So just that happening, I'm concerned. And it's like you can't kill off a character like that. It doesn't matter if it's the last season. You can't.
There you go. Obviously, they don't care.
Nobody's safe. Look what they did to Tara.
Off screen.
I'm still better about that. No, and you know what? I still think there is a possibility that she's alive. They haven't proven to me that she's not.
We're going to be 7 episodes in, and Natasha's going to be holding on to that hope. Whereas, like, I have completely just been like, you know what? Forget all of you. I'm so angry. I'm just angry.
It would just be such a disservice to her character if that was the case. It just would, and I would be ticked off. Like she can't go out like that. it just can't happen. I refuse to believe it. It'll be like the 12th episode, like the series finale, and I'm still holding out.
Like in the end of what was it, season 4, where she got shot saving Sookie. Like
yes!
my sister, my mom, and I were like, "What?" Like it ends like that. It's like she can't be dead.
I was totally flipping out.
And is it just me, or was that one of the major characters that has happened to you twice already? Like you're like, what? Did that just happen?
Yeah. I mean, you saw what Lafayette said. Is like, I felt nothing the second time, but I did. I'm like,
That still hurt.
Yeah.
I was so angry. Her and her mom were like starting to reconnect, and then nope, she's dead.
Yeah. No. And so now we have, the townspeople. Vince is the guy that's really against Sam, and he, of course, did not take long to reveal that Sam was a shapeshifter. They're working together. Conspiracy theory. And so he inflames the citizens. They're already panicking, mind you. So they're arming themselves, and Adeline, Andy's daughter, is trying to stop them from going crazy, and it's not helping. So now she has her little boy toy Wade. So I guess they're trying to work together now, and they're eventually going to hook up. It's bound to happen. It's coming. And we didn't really see Lafayette too much in this episode, and we didn't really see James at all, if I recall correctly. I think he's going to be in the next episode, though. Because, yeah.
I think the next episode.
Okay. And then we have, of course, Letty Mae, who appears to be a little bit hooked on V now.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe
she needs to be hooked on anything, really. She was a drunk, and now she's hooked on V. Like, it's like they're recycling. Jason went through it. Lafayette went through it. And, like, pretty much almost all the characters have gone through it at some point being hooked on V.
It's like heroin, I guess. I mean,
it's good for you, though.
She put her, like...
It heals your hand, that's for sure!
On a freaking pan. You know, like, how painful that... And that's like a 3rd degree... It took her skin away. I just cannot believe she's like a heroin addict that bad, just because if you're willing to do something like that to your hand...
Again, she was a drunk for a very long time.
She only did it because when she had it the first time, she saw Tara.
Yeah, so there's a reason behind the madness, but at the same time, she has, I guess, a susceptibility to be addicted to something. And unfortunately, that's right now V, and there's another added component of her being able to see Tara and try and communicate with her because of their relationship.
See, and the other thing was I forgot which vampire's protecting her. It's a daughter.
Willa.
Yeah, Willa. Yeah, and what's funny, she's new, so she doesn't know, because any other vampire would have been like, "Oh no, I know what you're doing."
She's still wet behind the ears.
She is an innocent. She's like, "How did you do that?" I'd have been like, "I'm sorry, your hand slipped and it burned that badly." No.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And I mean, you know what? I thought for a minute that maybe there was a contract dispute, and the actress that plays Tara, they couldn't come to terms. But the fact that they're showing her in flashbacks, that can't be the case. So, or not flashbacks, but like hallucinations.
Yeah.
That can't be the case. So I don't know. I don't know
what to think.
I hope there wasn't.
Well, I mean, she's obviously filmed twice, so I'm doubting that it is.
Yeah, just we don't know. And now we have, of course, Sookie, who finally told folk, "Oh, there's a dead woman. I found her while walking alone at night and throwing away my phone like a dummy." I want to say something else, but yeah, I'm done with Sookie.
Is Natasha's favorite character in the whole wide world.
You know what? I didn't mind her initially because True Blood was definitely good the first like 3 seasons, but as it progressed, I'm like, really, another man for Saki? Really? I know, and I know it's like that a little bit in the books, but at the same time, it gets old.
She's like been with like every major male character.
Yeah.
I know, I hate her. It's not fair.
And
Jason, but they're related.
Well, that's her brother. It's kind of like if he wasn't her brother, she would probably be with him too. Let's be for real.
Oh, there's always fan fiction.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there is fan fiction. As gross as that is, yes, there is fan fiction. But of course, they could go with the storyline of speculating, mind you, of them being one of them being adopted. So it would be not as bad if they do something.
Right.
Moving on, Alcee still looks good.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's pretty much Teen Wolf.
Well, I mean,
not Teen Wolf, True Blood. I'm sorry. Well, they start with T. Sorry.
We did see what happened to that.
Jessica.
Yeah, and how she kind of felt I'm sorry, what is the fairy girl's name?
Adeline.
She felt her in trouble, but more importantly, we found out that the town, what was it, 2 towns over?
Got wiped out.
Completely.
Oh, and on and Arlene and the crew of ladies, Holly and Nicole and them, they almost got rescued, but the vampire was too sick and wind up dying in the grossest way possible while feeding on Arlene. Like, she's not traumatized enough already, guys. Really. She lost her husband. Now she's scared out of her mind of getting torn apart and drained dry by these ill vamps, and now it's now you have someone that was feeding on you die such a gruesome death. She's been through a lot.
Isn't she like she's like the only waitress who has survived every single season?
Oh, Suki. And oh well, sorry, I was.
Well, she's the main. Suki's the main character, so she doesn't really count.
Well, you know what? And she's she really been working these 7 seasons? I mean, let's be for real. The most time that she has actually worked was in season 1. Yeah. And it just went downhill from there. Mm-hmm. I could have sworn. Yeah, I could have sworn she quit and came back. So, yeah. Yeah.
You know, I've actually met Joe Malagio.
Oh my god.
He actually sounds like that, and he's super tall.
I'm sure. He looks like really big. Like, he looks like a massive guy.
Yes, he is. So let's move on. That's True Blood. That's it in a nutshell. So let's talk about Falling Skies, the 2nd episode. Miss Lexi is a little bit cray-cray. She can't seem to control her emotions or her powers, so to speak, because no, she's actually not even 4. She's like
months.
6 months. Like 6 months or something, if anything. So it just makes me wonder, is her mentality really that of a baby, even though she's practically a freaking grown up? That's what I'm thinking, and of course the alien genes are not helping. They're perpetuating these emotions in the forms of wind and breaking stuff and calling lightning.
Well, her blood moves, so that's weird.
Well, it looked like those little not skitter, but the little worm things that were a major component in season 3. So,
That's gross. I was gross. I was grossed out by that. But there's the things that I like I liked about Falling Skies was you see kind of how stand aside and be like, look, I can handle this too, and kind of try to be equal with Tom, not just like his son, you know. Mm-hmm. He was basically trying to help him and say, you don't have to do everything by yourself. So I really liked that they were getting to that, and we did find out what those flying creatures are. Those skitters really
They're
are.
like the Hornet version of skitters.
Yeah, but they're mindless drones.
Yes, and mindless Jones. Unfortunately, a lot of the rebel skitters, they got caught, and now they're mindless Jones. And that's pretty much what they're trying to do for the human race. They're creating this mindless drone army, and that's another reason why they're trying to brainwash these kids. And they've also selected certain adults to go through this transformation, and I have a feeling they're all in Lexi's little village.
Yeah, because we freaking saw that. And was it at the end?
Yes, it was at the end. Lexi was talking to an overlord.
A fish head.
Right. Freaking fish heads.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of crazy, and so what also worried me was the fact that when they were talking to Tom through a child, basically he said, "We're preparing for an enemy you haven't seen yet."
Oh gosh,
that's coming, and I'm like, what? More aliens?
What is so? I don't. What's so special about Earth again?
I know.
What's so special about our planet?
I guess it's just another like.
So there could be like 3 alien races on. There's gonna be like 4 alien races on there. Are we sure this isn't the prequel to Defiance?
Right? I'm like, you can travel through like further than we ever could. Why is it you cannot find another planet to inhabit? I don't know.
I don't think they're only inhabiting it. They're just like, we'll just destroy you and move on. They're like the aliens from Independence Day. We'll destroy you, take all your resources, and move on. But the only difference is they're just like, we conquered you, yay, move on. And also like we're gonna use you to help conquer other worlds. So there you go. Because the Overlord was mentioning like the Valm have no clue what they're facing. Like I'm scared for the humans.
I am too.
And the fact that they are talking on two-way radio now, because the physicists managed to be like, oh, there's a radio.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think he's trying to help in his own way. Like, he did say he was going to go get Matt, so we'll see.
Yeah. And Lexi was, like, predicting, like, oh, everyone's going to be together again. How do you know?
You weird
So,
child.
Do you know where they are? Then why aren't they here already?
See, you can't knock Tom off. He needs that sense of hope. That's what makes him him.
That's true.
True.
Well, you see Ben's concern too, like grow with the Lexi. Lourdes is just she's
She done drank all that Kool-Aid. Like Maggie likes to say, that was actually a very good line. I love that line. Yeah, she felt so relieved to get those little worm things out of her that she's just like, I'm worshiping this girl. And even though Ben thinks it's not coming from a genuine place, I really think it is, and she's just misguided. She's just really something snapped.
I think it's not coming from a genuine place, but I don't think it's her fault. I think somebody's got something over half the people. Like they're under some sort of spell. I don't know, because I feel like that she can't. I would like to believe she doesn't have all her faculties about her, because if she does and she's still acting like that, then I'm like, oh God. I mean, you're a doctor. You're supposed to be logical. Like I don't. And you would think that she would be concerned too, seeing how fast Lexi is aging, because obviously, anybody looking at that is like, okay, she was a little girl, now she's not. She could be dead in like a month because she's aging so fast.
Yeah, and that's what Dr. Cater is pretty much trying to point out. She's rapidly aging. How long is she really going to last? So that's why he wanted to take blood and just see what's happening with her blood and see if there's anything they could discover with that. And Lourdes just went crazy. She's like, you're not going to touch her. What are you doing to her? Like, she's just taking blood. She consented.
She doesn't like needles. Oh my God, Lourdes, go have a drink. I don't know.
You're her doctor, really?
Yeah, I remember like in the previous season when they went to take her blood and she was like, "Mommy, no."
Yeah, she was very anal about that at a very young age, like born. Yeah, that's true.
And maybe
There's
it's because
something about her.
It's because she knows there's something going on with her blood.
yeah, we saw her blood, right? And it was moving.
And it was creepy. It was creepy. It moved away. What the heck? And we did have a little bit of a moment between Maggie and Ben. I'm like, please don't.
Yeah,
I know they're gonna go there, and I'm like, no.
Stop looking at Maggie. No. Maggie, stop looking at Ben. Let's not do this.
I am so confused as to the age at this point that I'm just very uncomfortable. Like, is Connor Jessup in real life even 18 yet? Is he? I need to double check because that makes me even more nervous.
I'm gonna look that up right now while you're talking. But but Matt's got a girlfriend.
Oh, he experienced his first kiss. No, you know what? He should have worked for that. I'm sorry. She should not have made the first move. You know what? He should have. He's got his dad's moves. He could have made that first move. I'm sorry. But I'm glad he experienced his first kiss.
Connor was born in 1994, June 23rd, so he just turned, 20?
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better.
He's Canadian.
That makes me feel a little bit better, but it still looks uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Because of the age he is on the show, that just makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, it makes me kind of uncomfortable just because, like, that's your brother's, like, there's got to be a code. I don't know. I don't have...
There is a code. It's an unwritten code, but it's there. You don't mess with your brother's girlfriend. Vice versa. You don't mess with your sister's boyfriend. Whoa. And since we have gay people too, same rule applies.
Yeah. You know what? Maggie is my age, so, and I'm not gonna say how old I am on this show, but she is older than Connor. Let's put it that way, significantly. So yeah. So well, I don't know. I mean, at least he's 20. God.
He's okay. Of age, thank God.
Well. I don't know.
I know that the show wouldn't go there, but because he looks so young, it just throws me off.
It does. It's just weird.
It's just weird.
It is kind of weird. So what are you hoping to see coming up?
I'm really looking forward to seeing them trying to escape the little camp that Tom, Hal, and Weaver and Pope are in, and Pope actually contributing, even though he probably didn't want to. As usual, and whether or not we can really trust that physicist. When he said his name, I try to rewind that show like 3 or 4 times. I cannot pronounce his name for nothing.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah, it's like cute bad guy.
Yeah, let's just call him that. And I kind of want to see. I want to see what Cochie's opinion is of what the fish heads, because I don't know what else to call them. Said.
Overlord.
I don't know. I want to know what his opinion is to their saying that this big bad is coming. So it'll be interesting to see. I hope we see it. We'll find out.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to see Tom, like a boss, just kill the Overlord again, just because he could. But that wouldn't have been productive. But at the same time, it just seemed a little bit convenient that he was like able to find all this stuff out. But they have to move the story along. They have to reunite the family, and this is the fastest way possible. And when Abe, she's trying to look for her daughter. Answer her questions, and you'll be all right. Answer what she wants to hear, and you're fine.
She's become a tyrant, not tyrant, but she's become like kind of
narrow focus. Like There's another word for that, but
I understand what, like, I mean, I understand because it was a child taken away, so I can understand her being like upset. But she is like, she'll kill you. She will kill you.
I mean, forget the poor girl that was connected to the skitter. Like, she apologized later, thank goodness. And you know what? I was hoping her and Ben would hook up, not him and Maggie. But they were separated.
I forgot about her. Yeah, and Ben, because they had a little connection thing going.
That's right.
Yeah, I wanted them to hook up, not him and Maggie.
Well.
Oh, well.
It could be part of the spell. Who knows? We will find out. But let's move on to Teen Wolf because we're probably going to talk about this for a significant amount of time.
Oh, and Antonio, so what did you think of the premiere since we didn't really get a chance to talk to you about it?
I thought the premiere, that opening scene in the premiere was just awesome. We didn't come here alone.
Yeah,
it showed Malia, Kira, and Scott, and had all their eyes glowing and all that.
He really does have a pack now.
He does. It's a mixture, but hey, it's a fact. It's what Derek. So it's another werewolf, a
a
coyote, a kitsune, a style, and a banshee.
Styles and a banshee, I love it.
Sounds like the beginning of a bad joke. So a kitsune, a banshee, a werewolf going to a bar. I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. So as a guy, you did see Malia and Kira dance. So was that like, oh my gosh, that's awesome, or you just like, I don't care?
You see,
I know, I'm putting you on the spot.
That was like my favorite scene episode. I was like, are they gonna kiss too? It's like,
oh god.
But yeah, keep going. They could have did that the whole entire episode, and I would have been fine.
Yeah, they totally put that in there to grab people's attention.
No, especially the guys, since it seems like the majority of the people that watch the show, let's face it, are females, and they love them some Scott and Styles and Derek. You know what? Yeah. I'm all for Sheriff Stilinski and Daddy Argent. I'm just.
You know what? That's a good point because they do know that they've got a ton of female fans, but they need to I'm sure they're trying to keep their male fans too, and we're constantly being shown Derek with his shirt off, and even Peter, Peter gained 20 pounds of muscle. Peter got bigger.
Yes, he did.
We're constantly being shown that, and the poor, guys, they're like, so there you go.
Yes,
there you go, Antonio.
More female characters.
Oh no.
No. What he wants is more female characters dancing together. That's what he wants.
Yes. Yeah.
So, what did you think about Malia? In the first episode, I was saying, the last TV talk that we did, that I really liked how they showed that she hasn't completely come to terms with being human. There's still coyote stuff, in her head. And
yeah, she's not completely. I think it's good because I think it would have been kind of weird to transition into whole she's normal and she's going to doing normal things, and it's no. But I did her and Styles are hooking up, so he's moved on from Lydia.
Yeah.
She said,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Them, yeah, I wouldn't leave you though. And it's progress.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like if Lydia and Styles are to happen, either at least he's learned to be with someone else instead of just continually pining away for her. Yeah, I would have preferred that, and Lydia finally seeing in the light if it's going to happen. But for right now, I'm fine with him and Malia being together, although I feel kind of bad for him because I feel like he's not the man in the relationship, and Scott kind of mentioned that.
Nope. Totally not, but I think he's okay with that. And you called it, you had mentioned it, you said last episode, how is she supposed to go to high school? She doesn't know anything. She hasn't been to school. And you saw her struggling with that. They heard you.
That was hilarious.
I felt so bad for her, but at the same time, that's why I was concerned. I'm like, how are they going to address it? And they did address it in the way it's like she's learning. She's literally learning. She couldn't even answer the question because she's looking for the answer. She doesn't know. She doesn't know how to process and maintain that information. She's barely, maintaining information on how to be a person, much less, education. So at least they kind of addressed it. I don't know if they're going to address it anymore. It would be nice. And, of course, Kira's dad steals the scene again because, like, no cell phone ringing, and his cell phone rings.
That's your phone.
And it was for Scott. Or was it for Scott, or was it for Scott?
Yeah, it was for Scott. It was like, for whatever reason, Lydia texted, or managed to get his number, mind you, and texted the teacher. And maybe they're able to do that? I'm not understanding.
Well, remember from last season, they all started working together because the dad...
True.
So that's probably why they... Like, well, if Scott doesn't answer his phone, and Scott doesn't answer his, and everybody else is... they're all in the same class.
Right.
I'm sure he appreciated that.
Okay, so we still have the shocker of a young Derek. Like, how did that happen? We're still not understanding how that process worked in the little tomb. And he was healing really rapidly. And it seemed like everyone's assignment was to keep Derek in one place, and that just didn't happen. First with Deaton and Lydia, and then with Styles later on because Kate just picked him up. It's like, let's go. Mind you, I'm surprised, and maybe this was part of him starting to transition back into regular Derek, but he immediately recognized Kate. I'm like, did you see her? Did you know her like that? Or did she look a lot younger? I'm not understanding.
Yeah,
because that was part of the spell.
Was that part of the spell?
Because remember how he was seeing everybody else? Maybe when he saw Kate, he was seeing her as the version that he knew from that time.
That could be a legitimate, theory, just because when he was seeing Deaton and Lydia, he didn't recognize them at all. In fact, it was, really hazy. But I also don't know what he saw in Styles and Scott when he saw them. It may have just been regular people, I guess, especially once Scott revealed his alphaness. I'm a little bit better about that because he's still not winning fights. That's later.
I want to know how old young Derek is because I was like, please don't kiss Kate because...
that was a little gross.
Like 14.
I think that's I remember at Comic-Con last year, everybody was like, how old is Derek? Because nobody knows how old they actually are.
We're not talking about old Derek. We're talking about young Derek.
No, I went in real life. Like, how old is young Derek in real life?
We're having another situation of potentially because older woman and underage kid.
Jill Wagner is older than I am. So I'm just like, no, dude, no. I don't want to see it. But he could be 20 for all I know. He just has a really young face, so I think he's young.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we probably need to check that with you guys, but it's uncomfortable. And everyone on Twitter wanted to puke. They wanted to gag, and they wanted to...
The guys probably didn't care at all. They're like, well...
I didn't care.
Exactly. We have proof, guys. We have a guy's opinion. So, well, apparently most of the ladies were like, I mean, that was like taking Cougar to a whole nother level. But
I'm pretty sure it was just because they were jealous.
No, I don't want to kiss little Derek.
No.
I don't want to kiss little Derek.
No.
Well, some of them might because there's a lot of 14-year-olds out there that watch Teen Wolf, so maybe
but we're at least legal age, so no.
I want to see more of. You know what was interesting? It took me a second to realize that was Kate in the beginning, in the bathroom. Yeah, it did because her hair was all in her face and she was mid-change and you couldn't really look. You couldn't really see her. But I'm really glad they brought that up because I was thinking that I was like, okay, so she's this Jaguar, Jaguar, and she's a hunter, so she's just been trained to kill these things, and she doesn't, I mean, how can she, nobody's teaching her. She wouldn't go to help. She wouldn't go to somebody for help because she's burned all those bridges, you know? So it's like...
Well, it's that also, and remember, the hunter's code is when you're trying
to kill yourself.
You need to kill yourself.
I mean, that's what Allison's mom did. Like, she refused to even remotely. She followed that code to the letter. And it screwed Allison up mentally. It definitely hurt Daddy Argent, or Chris Argent, but he also understood why she had to do it. But I miss Allison. That's all I'm going to say about that. It just feels so weird without her. Although, I mean, Lydia and Kira did have a nice moment. She definitely complimented her, saying she's a badass, and just, I mean, I thought that was nice. It was a little nice moment, and you can see them at least trying to grow closer. I mean, because Lydia no longer has a best friend. Allison was her best friend. So she has to.
And she lost Jackson too.
And
she
the
lost
twin.
Jackson and one of the twins. Yeah. I think it was Aiden, right?
Yeah, it was Aiden.
Yeah. So there you go.
So, I mean, she's just, I don't know, it's just, I'm glad that they brought it up that she's struggling with that, because I was thinking that, I was like, oh, she can just, I mean, Scott had to learn how to deal with it, everybody had to learn how to deal with it, and she can just control her change and be fine with it, but obviously she's not, and obviously she's having issues with that, and she's going to need somebody to teach her, and I don't know who was going to be willing to do that, but also, on a side note, why does Peter not have a bank? Like, I don't understand why.
My question is, why was it under the school?
See, there's secrets. There's too many secrets.
They had that.
Derek said they had that bill before the school was there.
Ah.
But literally, a bank account, would it kill you? Because that won't happen.
Maybe he was very old school and traditional in that, you know, he's one of those folks that like to keep their money under a mattress. And in this case, it just didn't work.
Those people get robbed.
Yeah.
And he got robbed.
And you know what? I'm a little miffed because I was waiting for Peter and Kate to go at it. You tease me and you don't deliver. Boo.
He would have like crushed her. Or is he still recovering? Is he still recovering from being resurrected?
I don't know, because he ran away. Like, he ran away and left those two kids to fight
against berserkers, mind you. Now, and you're meeting your daughter for the first time. That's not a good impression, even though she doesn't know that you're her dad. That's not good.
Well, he doesn't know either.
I thought he knew.
No, he does. He knows that's Malia.
Yeah.
Because
and it was interesting because yeah, like you said, like you were gonna say, Antonio. I really thought he was gonna screw it up and actually mention it, because he was like, "Well, they told you about me, right?"
When did he find out?
He found out like late last season.
Remember, Lydia told him before when they rescued Styles. Lydia told him that
he has a kid. Malia. Oh, I didn't remember them saying that the name was Malia. Huh. Oh well, I have to go back and watch that season again because I totally missed that part. I remember them telling him he has a kid. I didn't remember the name.
Yeah, Lydia revealed him.
He paused for a second to look at her, and was like, "Yeah, so we'll continue on." Because I guess he's smarter than to go like, "Oh, by the way, I'm your dad."
Yeah, well, maybe.
Well, this is the fact that that's not the first thing that she mentioned. The fact that you're my dad and you're psycho. Like, she just mentioned the fact that he's psycho, or that he's like a serial killer.
Plus, he doesn't seem like the parenting type, man. He ran away and left them.
Maybe it's a good thing that Scott didn't tell Malia right then, because Again, that would not have made a good impression. I'm sorry.
Wait,
Malia?
does Scott know that that Peter's Malia's dad though?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Styles was telling Scott earlier when he was showing apparently scratches that he's getting from Aaliyah, that he feels like she knows that he's hiding something from her, and he's like, "You have to tell her." And this is one of the first times, at least in the episode, where I felt like Scott kind of chickened out because you need to tell Aaliyah. And you didn't even tell Derek initially that, oh, by the way, your family's dead. Like, he had to find out, actually, from Scott's dad. Scott's dad didn't know any better. He's just revealing information.
See, I honestly thought Scott would have told him about Peter still being alive.
Yeah, I thought that too.
No. See, Derek's mentality was that of when he was 16, trying to control his changing to a werewolf on a full moon, and it was after Paige, I think, as well, because that's what Peter said. So his way of thinking, he didn't know that the family's house hadn't burnt down yet in his mind. So he's like reliving, so to speak, or he has the mentality of where he was at that age back in the day when, like Peter said, Kate, they knew each other in the biblical sense, and he trusted her. That's why she chose that time frame.
Well, but I thought, like Antonio, I would have thought that Scott would have first told him about Peter, because if you're going to try to help Derek, why wouldn't you tell him that, hey, not all your family's dead, your
uncle is still alive.
Uncle is still alive, and I mean, because they went to Peter for help, so you would think that
they would just bring him to them.
Yeah, like, I don't know. That was interesting how that played out.
Yeah, that was a little weird, and it was still funny, though, because Styles, of course, is trying his darndest for Scott's dad not to reveal anything about the Hales, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the berserkers. What do you guys think?
Predator on steroids.
Yeah, so they're not human, because at first I thought they were like human with like garb on, but obviously they're not.
Well, berserkers are in a sense kind of another type of werewolf.
Because they had like you could only see like their stomach and like part of their chest, so there were human parts to them that look kind of like cut, like they've been cut or something, or in fights or whatnot. So I didn't even know if they were truly alive or walking dead or what they were.
I'm pretty sure that I think they're probably just like beefed up hunters.
Well, my question is, who are they really working for? Are they working for Kate? Because it seemed to imply that that's the case.
Who are they after?
Or were they working for the benefactor who helped rob Peter?
Is Kate working with the benefactor, though?
It seemed like from the previews, though, that she wasn't. She wanted to kill him. But I may be wrong. And she's also learning how to control changing or shifting during a full moon, because I think that's another reason why she wanted Derek, because it was to help her find a way to transition or take control of that. And can I tell you, at the beginning, where that gas attendant was just being a freaking idiot and got himself killed for it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people do that anymore, just because, like, they're wise to it. They're like, oh, I call the cops, you know? But,
I mean,
yeah,
he was so insistent. And maybe there are people that use those kind of bathrooms, or, you know, the gas station bathroom, to, like, shoot up or what have you. But you're hearing an animal sound. Do you not watch enough supernatural shows? Or even enough horror shows to maybe not try and go in?
Just, you know, your gut should tell you that that's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, and yeah, guess where he's at? He's all kinds of stuff. Guts and his head. Like, it was everywhere. It was just blood everywhere. And Lydia taking a picture. How gruesome is that? She should be like a CSI. Like, look, I'm taking a picture.
It's so weird how she just ends up like their places. That would get annoying. Like,
yeah, like
Kira was like, you have a full tank, and then she was just standing right there, saying, "Don't look." And then Kira goes like, "Oh, I want to look."
Yeah. You should know by now. If you tell someone not to look, they're gonna look, and they're gonna look in the direction you didn't want them to look at in the first place. That's just how it is.
I also want to know for the berserkers what those bones are made out of, because it really impedes everybody's healing. Because remember, Malia wasn't healing right away.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
That might have lasting effects.
Well, my question, or my comment, or just a comment really, is Derek actually won. But he won as a younger version of himself.
Well, he was transitioning into his older self.
True. But he wasn't fully transitioned. He still won as a young boy.
Well, because he's a badass.
He knows how to. He
hasn't been lucky with that lately, but thank goodness he won something. We just need to work on Scott now. He's an alpha. You need to win fights.
I want to know what his alpha power is.
It's a little confusing for me because we thought we kind of knew what those powers entailed with Derek and Peter, but because Scott is a true alpha, I don't know if there's a whole nother level he just hasn't.
What was Derek's power?
I don't think it was anything special. He just knew how to be an alpha.
Because I know Peter was full wolf mode. I think he was just ridiculously strong. Kali had the nails. The twins could combine into one, and Deucalion could just see. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever got to Derek, and now he's no longer an alpha. So, but I thought Peter was the wolf because he went crazy. Didn't they explain?
That too, because the twins were that's what happens when you're too far gone.
Well, so I wonder if he'll ever change into that again, because we don't even see him with his face changing, when he fights. He just fights as a human.
Well, his eyes still go blue, and Derek's eyes changed. It was blue initially. Now it's
now they're yellow.
I did see that.
Doesn't that mean that he's an Omega now? Because isn't that what Scott was initially?
That would make him a Beta.
Yeah, it means he didn't kill somebody though.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Innocence is regained. So how did that happen?
Yeah.
I thought it was blue when you were. Okay, never mind.
Blue is when you kill an innocent.
Right. Okay. And yellow is
yellow is just regular.
Okay. For some reason, I thought he was next in line.
Because they're all yellow except for the ones that killed innocent people, and then theirs are blue.
True. Okay.
Yeah, because remember what Jackson when he was the Kanema. When we
it was blue.
Blue.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Because Scott, before he turned into a true alpha, he was yellow. So never mind. I misremembered that.
It's okay. I didn't know that Peter knew about his daughter, so I'm like.
So I also thought it was kind of weird without Isaac being there.
Oh God.
I kind of, it's long enough for me to get over that, but it's still fresh with Allison. You mean Isaac? Why am I thinking of Jackson when you said that?
They need to bring him back too.
Well, he's busy on Arrow, so that's not gonna happen anytime soon. But Isaac. Yeah, it did seem a little weird without Isaac either, just because he just seemed. I know he's your favorite character, Kim, but I still thought he was okay. I really felt bad for him that he kept on either getting beat up or he just suffered through so much, and with the loss of Allison, they're probably gonna explain that he's away somewhere, and at least they didn't kill him too. At least he could come back.
Because Daddy Argent isn't there for a while, right?
Yeah, I have a feeling he's gonna pop up at some point to the rescue or something.
Because Kate's there. There's no way he's not gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna take her out.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like it's going to be an interesting story arc, at least from his perspective, just because that's like his family.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how he handles it.
Yeah.
Or maybe he won't even blink and he'll fire something at her.
Yeah. So that should be interesting. I'm trying to think of something.
I'll be interested to see what Gerard has to say about that.
Can he just make a cameo? I just want him to make a cameo and just get wind of, because he somehow always gets wind of things.
You know, I do want to know how Gerard and Kate are gonna feel when they go like, oh, by the way, Allison's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't even got to that yet.
Even though they both tried to manipulate her into being, as I call her, Dark Allison, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. That'll be an interesting reaction, that's for sure. Especially since it's been so recent, it's only been a few months.
So, like, did they have a funeral for her, right?
I would hope so.
They haven't really done that for a lot of the characters. Like Boyd, Erica, they didn't really have funerals for them either, but you would think they would at least have one for Allison since she was a major character since season 1, but they had to move forward with the storyline. Like it's taking place a few months after the events of the end of season 3B, so who knows?
How do y'all feel about the mercenary chick?
I love Brayden. She should be on the show more. Oh, and the fact that yeah, okay.
Well, she said don't trust her.
Well, yeah, she did say that, but I still like her character. I like when she's on.
Yeah, I like her.
Out. Yeah.
She saved all of them in like season 3B though. Season 3A.
No, I like her as a character, but I wouldn't trust her. I mean, she said don't trust her. Like
she's a much higher.
And we did see Derek scratch Deaton. Now Peter's saying, you can't turn if you don't, scratch, deep enough, but
well, Derek's not an alpha.
That would be interesting.
It won't have any effect on him because Derek's not an alpha.
I thought if it was anyone that could turn someone else.
No, it has to be an alpha.
Alphas are the only ones who can turn other people.
Well, that's a relief, because that...
For the time being, until they've changed that.
I mean, I think it would have been an interesting dynamic if that wasn't the case. The fact that, Deaton got scratched, and Kate got scratched very deeply in the throat. So now she's a were-jaguar, and maybe just having Deaton deal with that. That would have been interesting to see.
I want to see Miss Morale.
Oh my gosh, my favorite.
She's my favorite female character. Plus, she's like super hot.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't be sorry.
No, actually, I don't apologize. Don't apologize.
Yeah, don't apologize because I never do.
No, I was gonna say that. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say about Officer Parrish. I love him. You're so adorable. Let's just try the gentle approach, and his partner is just such a jerk. I'm like, how can you? Obviously, the young man is like distraught, and he looks confused. Why would you be a butthole about it and try and taser him for crying out loud?
Oh, that was excessive.
It was excessive, and Parrish was like, "What are you doing?" And Sheriff Stilinski's face.
I think there's more to Parrish than meets the eye.
Yeah, and I'm wanting to see some Danny this season. We haven't seen Danny yet at all. I want to see some Danny. And Sheriff Stilinski's face was priceless when he's like looking back and forth between the mugshot and the young Derek. He's like, wait, am I seeing things? And he's like, please tell me. You can check me in the Eakin House or whatever it's called.
He was like, If y'all are
8
time
knows.
travel,
Yeah,
I'm done.
yeah,
Like,
I'm
I'm
done.
done.
Like, you can just send me now to the crazy house. Like, just stop. That was a funny scene. I love Lyndon Ashby. Shout out to him.
It was amazing that he could only see the resemblance, because there was definitely a resemblance, even though they're probably not related at all. I mean, casting did a good job getting a kid that looks
Yeah.
like Derek.
Yes, very. And I think he does pretty good as being a young Derek. He actually has some of his mannerisms, because you kind of got a hint of that, and even so, I was like, man, I miss the old Derek.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Next episode, what do we got? Are we gonna see a new character? I thought I saw like a.
Yeah, we got a little bit hint of the benefactor, or if that's him. I'm assuming that's him. So,
and obviously, remember from the trailers that they're targeting. They have a list of supernatural people that they're taking out, and everybody apparently is on that list.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff to deal with while you're trying to get an education.
They're like seniors now, right?
Yeah, it's like, how are they seniors? And of course, Lydia's like, I have a 4.0. Don't worry about me.
How's that even possible? You're never in school. Like they're
never in school. When do they have time for homework?
And they are starting lacrosse again too, so that's gonna be very interesting.
Yes, I liked the lacrosse aspect of the show, and I'm glad they're bringing it back, because it hasn't really been back in like a season.
Yeah, it's season. Because they stopped doing it after season 2 because they went to they did cross country instead because lacrosse was out of season.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting with that. And in the previews, it seems we're getting introduced to a new character whose family is getting murdered. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna die too. You wanna die? Let's die."
See, I didn't see the next week previews because I did not watch Wolf Watch. When is that? I mean, my DVR just cut off.
That came on right after the episode, and then
Wolf Watch comes on right after the episode. But actually, Kim, to be honest, you don't have to wait till Wolf Watch, because since it premieres on East Coast first, the preview will already be on YouTube.
Pretty much.
Gonna have to do that, because they used to show it right after the show and then Wolf Watch. I don't know why they do that.
They did it this week, I thought. I thought they did it this week.
No, they didn't. They went straight to Wolf Watch, and that's probably how Wolf Watch gets its ratings. And because I know I had to do that for after the first episode, I had to go on YouTube to find it because I wasn't able to watch Wolf Watch that night.
Yeah, totally could be it. That's how they get their ratings. So.
I like they make Kira badass. She had the sword and everything, and she was taking out the berserkers.
And then she looked back. Why did you?
I know, and Scott was like, "Kira."
What are you doing? And then and maybe it bothered me a little bit that, oh my gosh, they're so hard and they're staring. And maybe it's just the fact that Derek was, I guess, transitioning into the older Derek, and they're just like, wait. Or they were just so shocked that, oh my gosh, he's kicking butt.
I think that's what they were. I think that was.
Was that more than anything else?
Like he's winning against 2 of them.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
I'm just glad.
I'm tired of Scott getting his ass kicked. Like, dude, you're an alpha.
Yeah.
I need you to be a little.
I know.
Derek, can you teach Scott how to fight?
I thought he did that already. He needs some refresher courses. I mean, because he can't really teach Malia how to do nothing. It felt like Malia was doing more than he was. Like,
Malia needs some restraint, though. She wants to just start running into everything.
Yes.
So somebody needs to teach her some restraint.
Well, that's what we have Styles there for.
Yeah, he kisses her so she can start hearing or eavesdropping with her sonic hearing.
I did like how Peter completely punked Kate. There was like, No, the truth is so much better right now.
Yes, that was kind of funny. But I wanted them to fight, and they teased me, and I'm upset about that.
Well, because you know he wants to kill her.
For real this time, not just.
Like,
he thought he did. I'm like, why can't these people stay dead? Why? And Malia's like, well, you didn't.
right? So I want to know if the teacher from last season, I want to know if she might come back, the Duroc, or is she like dead?
No, I think she's dead.
Yeah, I think she's dead, unfortunately. Although it would be cool if she came back.
Well, guys, I think we should wrap up. So, last thoughts about any of the stuff that we talked about?
Good episodes of Teen Wolf and Falling Skies. I mean, True Blood, it is what it is. I mean, like, there were good moments of True Blood, don't get me wrong, but it's the last season.
I need more Kira and Malia screen time.
Stop.
Dancing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episodes of Falling Skies and Teen Wolf. But guys, and we will talk about Legend of Korra on this show. We had just already talked about the episode
Yes.
that aired on our last show.
Week.
So next show we will be talking about the newest episode of Legend of Korra.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just a reminder, guys, we are going to move into a podcast format, okay? So we're probably going to do only maybe one more show video, and then you can look for us on SoundCloud. Hopefully we'll be up on iTunes soon, but I will put the links down below in the comments. Okay, so why don't we just tell everybody where they can find us on the internet. Antonio, we'll start with you.
You can find me on Facebook, Antonio Jones, or on Twitter at AntonioJ31.
Tasha?
You can find me at WillCat12 and the Nerd Element.
And she live tweets both Falling Sky. Well, you live tweet everything, so you live tweet all the shows that we talked about.
Well, I haven't had a chance to live tweet Legend of Korra yet, but I'm looking forward to doing that because it's an awesome show. Yeah, but I live tweet True Blood. I live tweet Falling Skies. Last week, Penny Dreadful was the season finale, so our good associate Michelle live tweeted, and I tweeted from WillCat12. So.
But yeah, you'll usually find her live tweeting from at the Nerd Element. You can find me at the Nerd Element or at Anime23. Find us all on www.thenerdelement.com. Any social media out there, basically Instagram, Tumblr, it's all the Nerd Element. So go check us out there.
And leave comments.
Yes,
please.
Leave comments.
Leave comments here on this video. Leave comments on SoundCloud. Anything you want us to bring up, please leave a comment. Leave a comment on the website, and we'll totally bring it up.
Or tweet us. We'll mention it.
Or tweet us. Yep. Or tweet us. Just give us feedback. Yeah. We want it. Can't you tell? All right, everybody. We will see you next week. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.